like getting the road trip off to a good start as the Boston Bruins skate to a 5-2 victory over the St. Louis Blues on Tuesday night, the same score that they beat them just a couple of days ago. That game was at TD Garden. These games were different, though. This one had a different feel, at least in my eyes. I'll get Razor's opinion in a moment. But the Bruins now, game under 500 on the road. They've won 3 in a row. They're feeling better. And, oh, yeah, they got David Pastrnak back. And there's hope that by the end of this road trip that ends in Minnesota after a stop in Winnipeg in a couple of days, that number 73 could be back in the lineup. Welcome to Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. Our sponsors for this show, as always, we thank them. Sunset Lake CBD, Copeland Automotive Group, Fazenda Coffee, and Sparks Hockey. Razor, you were unobstructed, albeit you were minus one former Finnish goaltender tonight. How was the show? How did it go? How were you able to survive without Tuukka time with you?
Yeah, it was difficult. Bergie stepped up. He took on a few war words. Casey Hudson, she came on and took a few words from Tukes, but certainly not the same, of course, as you can imagine. Fortunately, the Bruins, after a more of like the first period was like it was in the 6-game losing streak where they were kind of okay, but they were just like the mistakes were crazy.
Mental, man. They were mental stuff.
Out of this world. Like, wow, what was that? Showed a ton of resiliency. And then, the still kind of made some bonehead plays throughout the game, but dominated beyond that, those moves. And really interesting now what the forward lines are going to look like, because what the changes that were made, it ended up making those lines better. It was fascinating. Fascinating.
So what did we think? What did we, being you, and then I'll give you my opinion. So, all right, the word is that Pastrnak might play, game time decision as of 1 o'clock today or so. Once you heard there was a game time decision, I don't know about you, but you kind of felt like he was going to play. But, they had to be really cautious. So he ends up playing. But then you see the lines based off, line rushes in warm-up. And you see Fraser Minten centering Husnudinov on the left and Pastrnak on the right. And then you got the mammoth black and blue line with Kuraly, Kastelic, and Jeannot. And you're like, so what was your first thought when you saw those line combos?
My first thought was, well, we'll see David play on that line for the first period, and he'll get his legs under him, and he'll be playing with Morgan Geekie and Elias Lindholm by the 8-minute mark of the second. And the third line of Minten, Kastelic, and Jeannot that have been very, very good and been automatic for the Bruins will be back together probably at the end of the first period. That's what I thought.
Me too.
All right. That's why. That's why I don't know shit.
So what, Rick only talked to Marco for a quick, 2 minutes after the game or so, but it was just a thought, why putting together. But I mean, do you think he was looking for balance? Do you think he was looking for an easier, when I say easier, a less pressure re-entry for David into it? And being on the road, you now have what you think is 3 capable scoring lines, and then you get a real bruising line. Although the third line, even though it was Minten in the middle, they were still pretty bruising. I mean, they did and the big boys, Jeannot and Kastelic did a good job. What's your best guess why he did this? I think personally it was because it was a couple things. First of all, it was like, okay, the first 2 lines, the Zacha Lindholm line had been playing well, so let's not break them up.
Yeah.
And we know that Fraser Minten's got a little more offense to his game. Let's see if this helps with it. We had them together. Remember, they were together late in the November 4th game against the Islanders that led to Husnudinov scoring that tying goal before he did the fake shoulder shimmy shake or whatever move in the shootout, right? They were together out there scored. So maybe all of that what's led them, Marco and his staff, to believe, hey, this could work. I think for me, that was the reason. And by the way, Pastrnak played a perfect 15 and a half minutes in this game. Perfect. Meaning good amount of time.
Yeah. I'd be curious. I mean, again, I didn't hear any sound or anything. I'm not, again, I really thought before going in, it was just a matter of David. The first 4 shifts he took were like 15 seconds,
Yep.
right? Like, and you don't want to put him with Geekie and Lindholm and make them get off every 15 seconds. So I really thought it was based off of that, just based off Minten can stay a little longer, Corrali can go a little shorter. They'll split up because the next 2 wingers will go out and they'll be with Fraser Minten. Right, like the Janot will change for Pasta, so he'll be with Minten, so you'll have cohesiveness still through those lines because they played so much together. But the fact that they did it for 60 minutes, I'm curious if this was the master plan. And he literally somehow this morning they decided, or in the last few days, they said, look, we're going to do this when David comes back. Let's look at this. The reality is the Kastelic Corrali Janot line that makes sense.
Like, well, that's what the plan was. That was the plan to begin the year. Yeah.
I don't want to put them as the 4th line, but they're the best 4th line in the National League. Not even close. Like, not even close with the way they're all playing, the 3 of them. But we saw how effective they were together. And so, and Husnudinov and David had some chemistry. Like, it all kind of lines up. It's fascinating. God, like, no chance anyone had this on their map 2 weeks ago, let alone 2 months ago when the season started. But it does all kind of, watching it for 60 minutes allows you to process it and find the reasons or code through it.
Well, yeah, about the first 13 minutes though or so, it was not pretty. And I'm not saying the lines, I'm talking
it was the back
all
end.
of them.
It was the back end.
The back end was bad end. It was not good. And in particular, Peak and Lindholm struggled.
Oh yeah, 2-7 had a night tonight.
2-7
when he has a tough night. We know he has a tough night. One of the best. It's actually fascinating that he's literally, and you've stood beside him and been around him. He's literally built in the hockey factory. Like, it's Hampus Lindholm and it's Pavel Zacha. They come right out of the hockey factory. If you can make a person perfect hockey players, those guys are it. And he's one of the best players on the planet, 9th overall, 6th overall, whatever he was in Hampus Lindholm. But when he has a bad night, boy, oh boy, it is something to behold.
Yeah, I don't think it helps either when your partner has a bad night too. Peak, I do not think, Peak.
Oh yeah, the back.
Peak did not play. Maybe the 2 of them just say, "Look, I'm with you. I'm with you, my friend. I'm gonna have a bad night with you. A tough. Let's do this together, right? I'm gonna have a tough night as well." I mean, the numbers. This is the irony of it.
I know.
Lindholm ends at 22 minutes 16 seconds +2.
Yep.
+2. 2 shots on goal. Beg your pardon. 2 block shots. Peak, who had a giveaway that led to one of the 2 goals, the second goal of the game for Rob Thomas. I was trying to play a lot of Rob Thomas, his songs too, in the green room as well. He ended a +1 at 20 minutes and 6 seconds. Peak had 8 attempts, 3 on net, but the eye test just said, they struggled with closing, they struggled with the puck, they bobbled. How about the power play in the first period? The 4 backhand passes to nowhere, basically. I mean, the Geekie one, I understand. This is the first one, actually. He tried to bring it back to the point. I get it. That I'm actually okay with that one, but there were 3 others on the power play that you're like, what the F are you doing? Like, what are you thinking out here? Like, this is the kind of game you go out and you're up 2-0 in the first period. You can have the type of night you did 5 nights ago at TD Garden when you beat them 5-2. You know what I mean? You can have that kind of, it's just, it was there for the picking. For a while though, the Bruins were not doing that.
No, but again, the name of the game, as we've talked about, is just figuring it out. It's the shitty dog days that we're at right now, and to that credit, Hampus Lindholm figured it out, man, and Peak figured it out. They got through it. I mean, there's There's 100 defensemen in the league that would do anything to have Hampus Lindholm's stat line, right? 22 and a +2. There's 100 guys that have never had that in their life.
Right.
So it just goes to just kind of this like what we're doing with the Bruins now. We're now enjoying some of the mistakes that they're making because they're 18 and 13 and they're moving along real well. This is a good thing.
Yeah. And they're 14-0-0, went up after 2 periods now. Pretty impressive. They are a team that they've got it. They've bought in for they've for a team that was disoriented or discombobulated for a while during that 7-game streak. That was, I don't know if befuddling is the right word. I was a little alarmed. I mean, how bad it got a couple of times.
At the end, it was bad. Like they had that tough trip, right? Like in the middle, at the start of it, really tough. But those last couple ones, again, we've talked about on the show. It's like, this is gonna be a long year.
Right. And then they reset, they tweaked, they closed quicker. They're closing better when their system is good. It's all about closing half wall down, not allowing teams to get up top to get into the cycle. But now they're actually checking off or switching better. They seem to get it. We've still seen some issues. That's going to happen, but it's better. So just to go back to 88 with Fraser Minten and Husnudinov. It was funny after the game. You sit and hear sound. Pasta was asked about it, and he just talked about, we're just 3 young kids playing together. I mean, he is a way about it. But what he did, just like when Husnudinov took over as center weeks ago, remember when Husnudinov went in, what did David say? Told him not to worry about my game. I'll play to his game. I kind of felt like he was doing that as well. Once he got his legs underneath him and he started to feel the puck more, handle it better. And Fraser Minten ends up scoring 2 goals in this game. And, now you're seeing a kid that is, starting to put up, some numbers. I mean, Fraser Minten, I don't know what the expectations were, but 6 goals. Can he get to 15? Can he get to 18 goals? I mean, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but can he get to 15? And the role he's playing, and that's a hell of a year. And by the way, Pastrnak gets up to 20 assists now with a couple in this game.
Yeah, David's ability to make everyone like he's found another way to prove that he's a superstar in just making whoever he plays with better and score. And he gets 20 assists now to go with his goals. He's awesome. Fraser Minten, you can see how he's developing, and he's seeing how this works now. He's offensively and he's been mature about this the whole time. He really talked about getting on the PK and getting defensive zone minutes and understanding that the more he did that, the more offense would come at some point. I think he's starting to see offensive patterns now. I think he's starting to understand being around the net. And in front of the net and in the middle of the ice is really important in the National League. We've seen the last 2 games, those goals have come in places where he might not have been as much earlier in the season. So I think there's no question that as he continues to pump these in, that 15, 18 the paces should get better for him. He's not an older guy who just, is going to, just kind of keep that. His pace should elevate. His pace should get better as the season goes on. I expect his end of the year to be better than the start.
He should be able to get, 10 goals in 50 games, right?
Yeah.
That gets him to 16. Absolutely. And that's a healthy number. I mean, I'm not going to get greedy and say, give me 20, kid. But again, it depends on who he ends up playing with, what his role continues to be. I don't see it changing much, but it was great. I thought that if he gets nervous or he gets overly excited, he sure as shit doesn't show it. Fraser is a very mellow kid. He's very matter of fact. You can hear it in his interviews that he does, whether it's with you or Soph or, she was on the road tonight or Adam, or with sitting down and talking to him in his locker. It's very refreshing how personable and how controlled he is. He is not reserved. He is not nervous. He is absolutely engaging, and he's a really bright kid. Really bright kid.
Well, it's another C word, confident.
Yeah.
He's very comfortable in his own skin as a younger guy. He's humble and he's respectful and he's very polite, but he's confident, which in what he can do on the ice. And that's why I don't think he's too shaken by playing with an 88. Yeah, I think I can do this. This is what I'm gonna do. This is why I'm gonna be an NHLer.
Right. This is what he wants to do. Not only this is what he wants.
Yeah.
The Blues get off to a power play goal lead 5.5 minutes in. Rob Thomas gets it, a big slap shot. There was a bit of a passing screen in front. I think it was Aspero that got in the way. And when Aspero gets in the way, he gets in the way. He's one of those guys kind of like in a cliff. He's a bull. He's wide. It beats Swayman on the glove side. Over the shoulder or arm area right there. And then the Bruins still kind of floundered for a bit. But I want to give the spark of the game. I don't have the exact shift time, 12-minute mark, 13-minute mark to the fourth line. They had a good shift there. You all right with that? I'm giving it to them.
That line has to have it. No question. Yeah.
Okay.
No question.
Sparks Hockey brings you the spark of the game. And it was the fourth line at about 12, 13-minute mark. They started to get after it. The power play that the Bruins had in the first period was not good. Not good at all. Again, multiple no-look backhand passes that led to a real poor showing. And you got no jam out of it. You got no momentum out of it. But the fourth line, a few minutes later, did regroup and got on a great shift. It was a veteran make a hit, take a hit type of shift to make a play. So we'll give them the sparks of the game for getting the Bruins kind of their game, their team game got righted a little bit. It kind of spun around after that. Sparkshockey.com, the place to go to check out the finest at-home skate sharpener you can buy. Check out their holiday bundle deal, $999. It's saving you at least $100. You can also get your equipment. You can get it customized, NHL. So great stuff. Sparkshockey.com is the spark of the game sponsor. All right, so the fourth line ends up. Because let's go through it. You know, Minten scores to make it 1-1, and then in the second period as well, Kastelic about just under 2 minutes later, he gets his first of the game. Now, I'm not convinced.
I don't know how they came up with that.
I don't know. I am not. So the shot comes from the midpoint, basically. It's Soderstrom. And Corrali tips it after another really good shift by the fourth line. It's a good deflection. And then about 3 feet away is Kastelic. The puck goes into the net by the goaltender Hofer. And Kastelic immediately points at Corrali like, that's your goal. Like, not even a question. But 20 minutes later, they gave it to Kastelic. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they changed it back to Sean Corrali.
And they could. There was no angles really that showed a good.
I didn't see anything.
Positive directional change off of Mark Kastelic either. So, Kastelic, we were laughing and joking. Kastelic owes him keg dinner tomorrow night in Winnipeg. So,
is that the nicest steakhouse in Winnipeg? You think?
No, there's another one. It's like an old house. It's like an old school Canadian place and an old like Victorian house. You would like it. And then it's probably Earl's in the keg.
And Moxie's, I'm sure, is somewhere in there as well.
Yeah.
Steak sounds good. I haven't had one in a long time. Might have to. I'm heading on the road for 2 nights. I may have to go have one.
Oh, yeah, they'll have a steak where you're going for sure.
They should. All right, but then the Blues tie the game up in the third period, 4:51, and Rob Thomas again, Buchnevich with the goal. By the way, did you guys notice on the Fraser Mitten goal, the first one, I'm going back to it, that it actually hit the referee behind the net? And so a little bit of a fortuitous bounce. Just thought it was interesting. I mean, it's part of the game, part of the play. So anyway, so it's 2-2. But then at 8:01, Mark Kastelic scores his sixth. Corrali has the puck after Zadorov shoots it, literally go off of his arm, his side, not his hand, but like his side, and it drops down perfectly. There's a scramble in front of the net for Kastelic, who jams it in, his 6th goal of the season. Corrali's 6 assists, Zadorov's 9th. Bruins then score another one at 11:33. Fraser Minten, unassisted. How was this one unassisted? What did I miss? Because they had given it to David Pastrnak. The puck got rimmed around. And he had it hit off. Did he not direct it to Fraser Minten? Did I miss something?
It's a good question. I haven't looked at it again. I'm gonna try maybe quickly pull it up here, but I thought I don't know how that would be unassisted. I'm not sure what they're up to anymore.
Then late in the game, 18-19 mark, after Jim Montgomery had pulled the goaltender with about 3 minutes left or so, Pavel Zacha ends up getting the empty net goal from Elias Lindholm after David Pastrnak from about the blue line in shoots the puck. And he thought it was going in, he said, and ends up hitting the post. and we're all laughing. But then to his credit, he kind of coasted, and then he got after it again. After the puck went over to the Bruins right wing board in the offensive zone, he was able, I think it was Fowler that he got to strip the puck from, and he got it, bumped it over to Elias Lindholm, who they hit Pavel Zacha on the left side, who put it into the empty net. 26 shots for the Blues, 31 shots for the Bruins. And the Bruins end up having, 2 power plays? They were 0 for 2. Second power play was better. Blues were 1 for 2. The good news is the last 4 games, the Bruins have only taken either 1 or 2 penalties.
Yeah, they're dropping their average quickly over this past week, and I don't think it's a coincidence that they've only given up 2 goals against in those last 3 games. With that, it's just even giving up power play goal like they did today. It gives them so much more freedom. Their line, look, like you just talked about David's 15 minutes. Everybody's time on ice has been perfect the last 3 games. They've been able to manage well. They haven't had too tough of a time. So
yeah, and I do want to quickly get into the time on ice, because just to give you some numbers here, because the balance, this was by far the best balance that we've seen this year. Let's recognize our sponsors, though, quickly. Let's do that. Sunset Lake CBD. Speaking of balance, they give you some great stuff that can help mellow you out, can help make you feel a little bit better. It's all natural products grown up in northern Vermont, just not too far from Burlington, but Sunset Lake CBD and the guys up there, just amazing customer service, all different types of products, whether it's sleep help, whether it's stuff for your body if you got aches, and whether it's for your dog, you can get that as well for your canine. They've got some CBD stuff, and they got all different things. They got lifted teas too, so they in 2 different flavors: original iced tea or mint green. These are the type of products that just help make you feel better in many ways. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com, and if you use the code BRU20, BRU20, you get 20% off when you use that code. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com/morning brew and use that code. It's for the whole website. And if you have questions, and Razor and I have done it, they will answer them for you. So Cy from Sunset Lake CBD drove down. He came to the game on Saturday, and it was great to I've talked to him a lot, but great to get to meet him. He's an awesome hockey fan, loves hockey, and he had a great time. And I'm curious to hear how he plays at the Gut on Sunday nights in the men's league. So I want to hear how he did up there. So thank you to Sunset Lake CBD. Thank you as well to another great hockey person in Todd Copeland in the Copeland Automotive Group. If you're looking for a new car or a used car, Copeland Automotive has got you covered. You can count on Copeland. Go to countoncopeland.com. Chevrolet, Subaru, and Toyota dealerships. Razor loves going there. Can't wait to go visit Cope again. Haven't seen the big man in a little while. Would love to see him holiday time. I'm sure he's hoing around somewhere and having a good time. Being
never
Colby.
has a bad day. That guy.
No, and nor should he.
Of course not.
He works real hard, and he's got great quality service and great products. Again, count on Copeland.com for details. And lastly, we got Fazenda Coffee, the brand that Razor's representing with his hat right there. Good looking lids, FazendaCoffee.com. I was in a bakery this morning before morning skate, Razor. And I mean my morning skate. Not the Bruins.
That's a real early morning skate.
It was an earlier morning skate, and I went in to pick up some stuff for the guys, and Fazenda Coffee was there, and I just absolutely love it, and I know you do too. FazendaCoffee.com. Go to .com/morning brew for the Brew Blend, or also the Brew Clean Canteen. Anything, listen, anything you want coffee-wise, Fazenda has got you covered. Fazenda, FazendaCoffee.com. Razor, when you look at a team, and here are the centers from the game, okay? Yep. I'll start with what we'll call the first line, Elias Lindholm, 1429, okay? Mm-hmm. Pavel Zacha, 1555. And then you've got Mr. 21-year-old, Fraser Minten, 1551. And then Sean Corrali, the old guy of the group, literally, the old 16 minutes. Those are your 4 numbers right there. How nice is that?
No, that's it's coach's dream. Mm-hmm. Coach's absolute dream, especially this time of year and this kind of a season and this kind of a format that the NHL has cooking this season. Marco Sturm will take that 52 more times. That's what he'll do. If he could draw it up the rest of the way, it would look exactly like this. So good on them. And what we're seeing is that the coach has a very, very good feel for the bench, mm-hmm. and very good feel for when guys are going in games and who he's going to rely on in certain games. And today it was very obvious early on he was going to the 3rd and 4th lines that were on our board at Nesson, right. And he made them the 1st and 2nd line very quickly in the game.
Deservedly so. He read
absolutely rightly so.
Yeah. Again, he kept going back to, especially to the 4th line when he needed him a couple of times to keep going, and he kept saying, I don't know, literally, but by putting him back out there, he's saying, you deserve it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play you.
Yeah.
Corrali, again, this is the line that we thought we're going to be. And by the way, you look at the numbers from this line. They had 2 goals, 2 assists. Kastelic with the goals, Corrali with the assists. Jeannot had 9 hits. Line had 5 shots on goal, 15 total attempts. I mean, it's a monster game line, stat line for the game. You're talking a guy in, you got a 6'4" in Kastelic, a 6'2" in Corrali, and 6'3" in Jeannot, and all of them willing, more than happy to throw their bodies around.
Well, that and the other big thing, and we've talked about Jeannot and Kastelic because they played together the entire time, is that whenever the puck's in the offensive zone, they're at the front of the net. One of them's in front of the net, if not both of them, all the time. Yeah. The goals they score, everybody's in front of the net all of the time. They're within a stick length of the blue paint all of the time. And it's just so simple and so straight line and so predictable.
Jeremy Swayman's been predictable in his play lately. 6 of his last 7, my friend, 2 or fewer allowed. 10-3-0 in his last 13. He was really good in the first period, I thought. What did you take away from him? I thought he made a couple of saves. I don't think he stole the game. But on the other hand, he kept them in that game in the first period when their brains were not involved in that game.
Yeah, he did. And now the good news is tonight was one of those ones where that's just a real good starting goalie win where you don't think much of it. You know, at the time during the game, it just feels like everything's okay. But like you just said, when you use a little hindsight and you reassess, it's like, yeah, that could have been 2-0, or it could have been, 3-0, or it could have went 3-2 at one point. So I think that's just where Jeremy's got his game now, where he doesn't expect to give up more than 1 goal a period, no matter what's going on. And that's a good feeling for him and the team. And didn't by no means steal it, and really isn't the story with the way those 2 other lines played. But that's what you want to be. As you don't want to be 2-on-26 and be the story. That means you've kind of been struggling. Now he's at the point where 2-on-26 is like, ho hum, let's go get another one.
All right, so you got to think, even though the cadence, the rhythm right now for the Bruins schedule is really good, a couple of days off, they play this game, they play Thursday. I'm assuming, but I don't know. I don't know if you know, are they flying to Winnipeg tonight? Or are they going to spend the night in St. Louis and then fly there tomorrow? Do you know?
I didn't look it up. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, It's cold in Winnipeg.
I would
I mean,
guess they would
cold.
stay, right?
I would think you would stay in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's much warmer. I remember hearing that something like Wednesday, Thursday in Winnipeg was going to be like minus something, like really cold. I was hearing that.
That would make sense.
So stay in St. Louis, I guess, a little bit, but I don't know. It's just I don't have the schedule if they're doing it. I'm looking up the Winnipeg weather right now. It's not too bad. Tomorrow's going to be a high of 19, but a low of 4.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, and then that's for Winnipeg. That's like July.
No, I know. That's the best part about it.
And then Thursday, snow, low of 5, high of 17. And I'm curious.
My guess is now the more I think about it, again, I don't know. I can't pull up the schedule. Is that they stay tonight, get their sleep, meal at the hotel, let's go to bed. Everybody's sleeping, get up in the morning because we're not going to skate tomorrow anyways, and we'll have a pregame skate in Winnipeg and just fly tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I would guess too. Makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And look, Winnipeg gets a lot of guff about it, but it's there's not. Maybe if you live there, there's other stuff. I've been there a handful of times. I don't know. Did you have fun when you went there? I mean, there's fun place to go out, but it's not like.
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's
big.
like to be there for a day and a half isn't the war. It's not like you're not in like Siberia. You go out and you have fun and laugh, and you can have a beer and you go to your room. Like it's like any other road hotel that you're there for a night. It's just all the same.
Right. And they do have a really good system of walkways that you can stay inside with
the whole way. Yeah.
And that you try and do. So, well, the Bruins will do that. And then they face the Winnipeg Jets. Do we assume Korpisalo there, or do you go Swayman? Swayman again, and then you got a couple of days before you play Minnesota. So the cadence is good. You've got good rhythm. You got good rest for everybody. So I'm curious. I got to imagine Corpy plays one of those 2 games.
Yeah, it'll depend on. Yes. I can't say without a doubt because you could. They're going to play on one of the 2 games, depending on where Swayman wants to play, what lines up. It's a 6:00 game on Sunday, so a little earlier, because then next week you go Tuesday, Thursday, and then there's a back-to-back on the weekend. So you're not going to let Corpy sit for 12 days and then do one of the back-to-backs. He's going to play one of these next 2.
Yeah. Good. I'm going to say he's going to play on Thursday. Okay. And then Swayman plays on Sunday. And then you've got Utah. You got a 5-game homestand.
And then you're going to go, because then you're going to go Tuesday, Swayman, Thursday, Swayman against the Oilers, and then you're going to go Saturday, Canucks. You're going to go Korpisalo.
Right. And then Swayman Sunday against Ottawa.
So now you're into that one game, 3 on, 1 game, 3 on kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. That'll wrap up this morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. The Bruins win in St. Louis, and Razor, you and I are going to do our show Saturday. Next morning brew with Jaffe and Razor will be Saturday. We're not doing a show after the Winnipeg game. I'm on the road. You're working that game, but we'll be doing Saturday, and then we'll update you the next one after that. We got a bunch of shows coming up before the holidays, folks, or before the league shuts down. Maybe next time we'll talk more about where the NHL is with this Olympic thing. I it's kind of whatever. It's annoying as shit as far as I'm concerned. What a fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
What a fiasco. Unbelievable. All right, RC, thanks for everything, buddy. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to you, Razor. Be good, everybody. Enjoy your coffee.